Today on Gun Talk Nation, we're on the road, evacuated from Hurricane Ida. We're in Texas at the Primary Arms Range event. Hey, welcome into Gun Talk Nation. This Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters, Arms Corps, ATN, the future of optics, Remington Ammunition, and Crimson Trace. Failure is not an option. So today on Gun Talk Nation, we're on the road. If you are listening to this, it may sound a little bit different because we are actually at a gun event, Primary Arms Range event. So we ducked into the car to get some decent audio, and so you're not having to hear machine gun fire. Even though machine gun fire is a lot of fun, it's not easy to hear over. And I got Michael with me.
Howdy.
Welcome in. So Michael is one of our guys that works at Gun Talk, video editor, all that stuff. Makes us look good.
That's the full-time job.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So we're in the car, and I thought we'd kind of give you guys an update on a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about running from a hurricane. We've done that this week. And the consequences of being prepared and not being prepared. Also, some updates, some cool new gear we're seeing here at the Primary Arms event. And just a lot going on, man. So as they say in Ferris Bueller, did you see anything good today?
Yeah, I saw some fun stuff. Yeah, it's we're in Houston or outside of Houston now, and there was several companies that are here. The HK stuff was fun.
Yep.
Faxon.
Yeah, Faxon stuff. So, and if you're watching this looks different too, because we're kind of doing our version of gun nerds in cars, drinking coffee, and talking about freedom or something like that.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld's not here.
Yeah. We're in the air conditioning, not sweating is what we're doing. And
a car, just a little pro tip for you. A car is a pretty decent sound booth.
Right. If
you want to get good sound. So the Primary Arms, and if you guys probably are familiar with Primary Arms, but they do a bunch of e-com stuff. They have a big website where they sell a variety of guns, ammo, optics, accessories. They also have their own line of optics, rifle scopes, red dot type stuff. And then they're putting on this event. It was supposed to be
prelude to NRA, right?
The day before NRA show. And obviously that got canceled. They said, you know what? We're rolling forward with it. We're gonna keep our range event. And I'm actually surprised. There are a lot of people here.
Yeah, it was a good turnout.
I mean, I would say it's a couple hundred people between industry media folks covering it and also all these different manufacturers. So actually, there are, like, I'm going to have to use my cheat sheet of all the different people we saw because there's a bunch of them we saw. Obviously, Primary Arms. Mm-hmm. We saw Sig Sauer. Our buddy Phil Strader was showing off some cool stuff. We saw Hollison. Our buddy Lewis is here. Also, who else did we shoot some stuff with? We shot Faxon. You mentioned Faxon.
Yep.
So Faxon. If you don't know Faxon, they are based out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and they're kind of known, I think, for being stuff from the builder world. So builder stuff for AR-15s, barrels, uppers, different parts, and that type of thing. They also, don't tell anybody, they build a lot of stuff for other people's barrels. But we shot, what did we shoot? They introduced new comps for pistols. We shot it on the FX-19, which is kind of their Glock clone.
Right. We
shot one for the M&P. They have a comp for that. And then we shot one for the P320, the Sig Sauer.
The one of them was really interesting because it really had to look like the comp sort of became part of the slide, and it almost looked like it didn't look like it was sticking out past the gun as much as it was a part of the gun. Not
as much of an add-on. And I think they did that purposely with that P320. And the guys at Faxon are like tinkerers. And so they got a full-size frame with a shorty slide, and they cut something and machined something so it kind of looks seamless together. They worked great. Okay, so comps. They blow the gas. There's holes in there. They blow the gases up. It keeps the recoil down. And they did work.
Mm-hmm.
They shot very flat. We have some video of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're really loud, though.
Oh, yeah.
Comps are really loud. Now, theirs weren't horrible, but it's like, okay, obviously the comp's working because I can hear it working.
Right. Now, I may get this not quite right, but there was one that was, the comp was actually machined as part of the barrel. Was that theirs or was that something else?
That was theirs.
Okay.
And forgive me, Faxon, I can't remember all the model names, but this was their gun. It is an ultralight gun. It was like 4-point-something pounds, and it had this pencil barrel, but the brake at the end, comp brake, I'm probably, I use them interchangeable, although there are actually different things. Now, the comps we were talking about were for pistols. Now, the brake on the end of this barrel, an AR-15, is part of the barrel. It's not a pinned brake. Sometimes you'll have, instead of having a 16-inch barrel, they'll do like a 14 or 14.5-inch barrel, and then they'll pin a brake or a comp on the end of it to make it officially a 16-inch barrel,
right?
And you don't have a short barrel rifle. This is actually part of the barrel. I mean, there was no pinned on piece. It was machined as all in one piece. So that was pretty cool. The gun was really lightweight. It also was full auto. So we shot it full auto. One of the interesting things is I don't shoot a ton of full auto, but I've shot my handful of those. And you always kind of want to prepare for the recoil shoving you back. You'll see people, the muzzle rising up and the rounds rising up the target. So I kind of had prepared myself for that on this AR-15. It didn't really move very much at all.
Right.
I was impressed for being a lightweight gun. It didn't really move. So yeah, we shot that with Faxon. We also shot some stuff. I want to remember their name. Odinworks.
Yep.
Odinworks was one of the first companies we chatted up. They're out of Boise, Idaho, and I wasn't really familiar with them, but they make some of their own guns, AR-15 style. They've got some pistol caliber carbine uppers as well, but then they've got silencers, and they had some really nice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like sort of these silencers that you can take them apart, you can take baffles out, you can shorten it up, depending on what you want to do.
Sort of sectional. You can
yes.
Adjust to how long you wanted it.
Customize the amount of noise reduction you get. But that was pretty cool, and I enjoyed that. What else did we see, Michael?
Were they the ones that had the silencer that was two different compositions in one, basically?
Yes, they had one that was rated from real low, like a 22 or a 9 or whatever, up to 338 Lapua. So obviously it's a 33 caliber can. But the big deal was the back half was stainless steel baffles, and then the front half, and these are modular baffles of the front half, were aluminum. So saves on weight. The stainless steel is super strong, but that's the area that's closest to the muzzle and all the blast you're going to get. So it's going to hold up. Another thing that he mentioned was with these modular pieces of baffles, of the aluminum baffles, you can take them out. If they were to get damaged, you could just send that little piece back. There's no need to do anything with ATF,
right?
Because it's just a part that they would be fixing. So that's kind of another advantage. So real quick, Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by Arms Corps, Rock Island Armory. Newest from Rock Island, there's their VRF-14, a semi-auto short barrel 12-gauge firearm that features a pistol grip. The VRF-14 comes with a 5-round magazine, also compatible with the VR Series 9 and 19-round mags, made in America. Find out more at armscorps.com. Also, Remington Ammo. Remington's Golden Saber bonded defensive and tactical handgun ammunition features a lead core, hot bonded to a brass jacket, producing unmatched expansion, weight retention, keep you and your loved ones safe, made in the USA, available in 4 calibers. Find out more at remington.com/handgun. Also, Safariland, their 575 IWB holster is designed to fit multiple firearms. That's nice. We always end up with multiple holsters. We're like, well, guess what? This one fits, slim fits for Glocks, like the 43, 48, Springfields, like the Hellcat, SIGs, like the P365, MMPs like the Shield or Shield Plus, and more. It's optics capable, fully adjustable cant. You can do it. You can run an IWB. Visit safariland.com. Use the code GunTalk20Q3 for 20% off. GunTalk20Q3 is the code for 20% off at safariland.com. Springfield Armory, the newest addition to Springfield's 1911 family, is the Emissary. I've shot this gun. It's a big, full-size 1911, really nice custom-grade features. Has a two-tone finish, blued carbon steel slide, stainless steel frame, squared trigger guard. The grips are fully wrapped in they call it the grenade pattern texture. So it's a nice texture. It lets you hold on to the gun. Find out more at springfield-armory.com. So, Michael, you and I are over here partly because of this event, but mainly because we ran from a hurricane.
Yes.
So, you guys probably know we are based out of South Louisiana, and something fun besides Mardi Gras is we deal with hurricanes from time to time. So, Hurricane Ida came through. You guys may have seen the news about this. So, I evacuated to northern Houston. You evacuated to southern Houston.
Correct.
You've been through this.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, my story with hurricanes is that I grew up in the north, well away from them.
Yeah.
And then about 20 years ago, I was living in Houston for a few years, and I didn't have any hurricanes come through then, but I had a tropical storm that hit. And this was my lesson in how fast storms move, because this storm came on shore one day and then got pushed off. So the ground was nice and soaked. And then a couple days later, after collecting a bunch of water, it pushed back up and then got hit by another mass of air. And it literally just stopped on downtown Houston for about 6 hours and dropped 3 foot of water.
Oh my gosh. And Houston's all concrete.
It's all concrete. It's all flat.
There's nowhere for the water to go.
And it was at high tide.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So that was my first experience with having a storm. And I actually drove through a lot of it that night. That's another story. But then I moved to Florida, and I never had a hurricane hit land in Florida when I was in Florida. We had some skirt around.
That's kind of remarkable.
It was, yeah, I think that's not normal. That's not normal. But then I moved to Louisiana, and my philosophy has always been, I'm going to sort of follow what the natives do. If the natives are like, yeah, it's fine. Okay, I'll be fine.
That local knowledge pays off.
It does. If the locals are running, I'm right behind them.
I've noticed that. That's funny because KJ, since he's been living in Louisiana for a few years on the hurricane season, every single storm that comes up that's sort of coming our way, he's like, so is this a bad one? Should we leave? Should I run?
Right.
Which, funny enough, I was like, yeah, I think we're going to get out of town for this one. And he ended up staying. So here's the deal, guys. There's a ton of destruction right where we are.
Yeah.
Lots of trees down, power lines down. They're saying the power in the whole area is going to be out at least a few weeks. And there's going to be pockets of stuff coming on. There's already pockets of little places where they're getting electricity back on near hospitals and nursing homes and police stations and that kind of thing. Schools.
The staging areas.
But are you prepared? And when we talk about this type of stuff, you guys, if you've never been through something like this, you take for granted of what needs to happen because you go, well, I'll just drive somewhere. Well, you may not be able to get out. I mean, I know lots of people who they are trapped in their subdivision after the storm because there are giant trees in several places across the roads and there is no getting through.
Yeah.
So then they have to bust out the chainsaws and start working. Or you say, well, I don't care if the power's out. I'll just hang out. Well, a lot of people have no water.
Right.
No running water.
Nothing.
No water pressure because these trees are tipping over, ripping up the water lines.
Yep.
And it's just destroying all the infrastructure. Having a generator, having gasoline. They're telling us that back home, gasoline, you're waiting 2 to 3 hours in line to get gas.
At the places that are actually up and running.
Right. One of our buddies called and said he waited for about an hour and a half and got to the front of the line and they said, we're out of gas.
Yeah.
Great. But the most telling thing for us is being prepared individuals, being gun people, is last night, the mayor of New Orleans did a press conference and said, our services, emergency services, ambulance, firefighters, police, are stretched to the max. They have too many things going on. They're stretched too thin. Don't expect us to be able to show up for whatever happens.
Right.
If you need us, we're not available. You're on your own, essentially. So are you prepared in that way?
Yeah.
And that's not just like, I got my gun and I'll be able to protect against bad guys. Well, what about, chainsawing a tree and you have an accident? That happens all the time after these storms. What about medical training?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of links on like gundealer.com to a bunch of different med kits that we've kind of vetted, and some companies we work with that have these nice complete kits. And the bigger ones, the more complete ones, they're cheap. It could be $300, $400.
Yeah. But
you get something like that and also get training.
Right.
And then you're a little bit better prepared. We saw this in Hurricane Katrina. Yeah. I mean, Ray Nagin was the mayor at the time. I lived in New Orleans at the time. He said, we're going to go around and start picking up guns.
Right.
Well, and what's crazy is the SWAT officers and other officers from around the country who had come in to help, they just followed orders.
Yep.
They did it. They were knocking down like old lady with a revolver saying, I'm good, I don't need any help. And they're like, knocking her down to take away her frickin' lemon squeezer revolver.
They're probably thinking that less guns that I have to worry about, the better. In their
right, because there was a lot of crime, there was a lot of looting going on, but then it becomes that, I guess I would call it government mentality. It's like when you were a second grader and the teacher said, well, one person talks, you all get homework. It's like one person loots, we're taking all of your guns.
Right.
And that really is the mentality. It's like, it's a one size fits all. Zero tolerance means zero logic. Right. It's a zero tolerance policy.
Then you don't have to think.
Yeah, we don't have to think about this and evaluate, does this make sense, or is this person a good person or a bad person? We lost our video there for a minute, so we're back. But yeah, just talking about being prepared, and these types of natural disasters, whether you're in them or whether you're just observing them from the outside, is a great chance to learn, right? And help you prepare. If you're in New York or Tennessee or Seattle or wherever, being prepared, it's not just the gun part of it. That's just like a very tiny piece of the puzzle. What else?
But I was going to say, on the gun part of it, though, sometimes you have a little bit of time to prep, because I'm from the Detroit area, and several years ago when the city was losing money or going bankrupt, the police chief came out and said, hey, my services are, again, stretched thin. He said, you may want to arm yourselves at this point.
Wow.
Which was, for the chief of police to come out and say, I can't help you.
Yeah, we can't help you.
That's not good.
And the funny thing is, most police officers, if you talk to a buddy police officer, they'll say, look, we can't be there to stop the crime.
Right.
We show up and we do paperwork on what happened to you.
Right. Yeah. I heard the similar thing is like, the buddies will be there. We'll be there to avenge you.
Right.
We'll be there in time to avenge you. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if something bad happens, just call the police. I mean, come on. I know that you guys listening to this probably understand that, but it's just like, the police don't stop crime, and that's not a dig on police.
Right.
They just can't be everywhere when everything's happening.
I mean, unless they happen to be right there while it's starting to go on.
Right. The funny thing is, most criminals, if they see like a police car, outside of your door, you typically break in.
Right.
They don't typically, start mugging you on the street where there's a cop 10 paces over.
That's why I like living in apartment complexes where I had a neighbor who was a deputy. I've done that a few times, and they parked their cruiser.
It's great.
Right there. And
perfect.
It's like, thank you.
Yeah. It's why restaurants always offer free food to, any law enforcement. It's like, hey, we want you guys coming by.
Come on and park in here.
Yeah. Hang out for a while. Have a free cheeseburger. Absolutely. Heck yeah.
Yep.
But man, it's been fun being out here. It's wicked hot.
Yes.
it was funny. What we were shooting, HK stuff. We didn't even talk about that.
HK, yep.
So HK, and I have an idea about this. So they were showing off a new MP5 in rimfire in 22. It ran like a top. Super fun, obviously. They are out there in the wild. They're going to be hard to find.
Oh yeah.
But the HK MP5 is just iconic. I wonder, thinking about the availability of ammo, but more so long term, the price of ammo. The price of ammo will come down some, but everyone I talk to is in agreement. It's not going to go back to 2019 prices.
Right.
It's done. It's over. That's history. So I wonder if rimfire guns become more popular.
Yeah.
If you think about, well, if 9mm is just going to be 50 cents a round and 223 is just going to be 60 cents a round going forward. I mean, yeah, even rimfire is more expensive, but it's 15 cents a round.
Mm-hmm.
Does rimfire become even that much more popular? Does it become like shooting 308 is like rich kid stuff? Like, oh, you must be rich.
Yeah. What school did you go to? I went to the one that can afford 308.
Yeah, we shoot AR-10s at my matches. Like, what? It cost me, $2,300 for a 2-day event.
Yeah.
Wow. I could have gone to the Bahamas. But that was a fun gun. And then we shot the long slide. And that's what I was going to say is the VP9L. So long slide, VP9, HK, 9mm pistol, sweet gun, really nice shooting, had nice grip. But even though it was totally controllable, I mean, it's currently 99 degrees and probably heat index is 105, 107, something like that. I mean, everyone's soaked out here.
Yep.
And holding on to the gun, this is a wonderful place to test that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you can't stop it. It's going to slip and slide in your hand a bit.
Right. Your
grip is going to change as you do a mag dump. Don't worry, they're providing the ammo. But I mean, that was something I was kind of noticing as I was doing. I was like, well, he handed me this big mag, and he said, "Yeah, go at it. Let's do a mag dump because it's supposed to be very controllable, long slide." I don't know if you were noticing that on camera as you were kind of rolling on stuff, or what you were seeing on some of these guns.
I'm sure it was flat. I have to look at it a little bit better because I was shooting it all on a GoPro, and it was like, I'm like, I got the framing right. Its details are a little sketchy until I can get it into the editing system.
Yeah, this is the evacuation edition of Gun Talk content. But hey, we're out here, man. We're doing it.
Yep.
So lots of fun stuff. They're doing some duels with Sims guns. I saw that. Real fun if you've never been shot with a Sims gun. Not as much fun if you've been shot with a Sims gun to volunteer to get shot.
Right.
And there's some machine guns going on and all that. We shot a few machine guns. But yeah, I mean, we're out here. We'll be back at it. Hopefully we'll get power back up very soon, and we'll be throwing more content out there for you guys. And just consider getting prepared. Check out the My Medic links on gundealio.com. That's a place to check out to be prepared. Also, we have some different water filter companies. My Survivor filter that we work with. That's an awesome thing. And just that's okay, let me budget a couple $100, get a couple of these things. My Wise Foods is another one we do stuff with. Great to just have that in the bank. At least it could get you through maybe a few weeks.
Yeah. And the most important part is the water. I mean, if you have water or, stacked up, I know I have a supply of water. I gave some cases of water away too before I left to people that were staying who probably were like now needing more.
Right. Yeah.
But the water is the most important. That's the one thing that after a couple of days, you're not going to get very far without water.
Yeah.
And, food, you can go a little longer if you needed to, but water, you need absolutely to have clean, fresh water.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Yeah. So it would be kind of nice to be able to make your own, That's it for us, guys. We will see you next time on Gun Talk Nation.